The shifting sands of masculinity. From warriors to wondering. For millennia, the image of a man was clear. He was the warrior, the hunter, the protector. His strength, both physical and mental, was the bedrock of society. He built empires, explored uncharted territories, and defended his family from danger. However, the 21st century has ushered in a new era, one where the traditional roles of men are being questioned, challenged, and in some cases, dismantled. The strong, stoic archetype is often replaced with images of men perceived as weak, indecisive, and overly emotional. This shift has sparked intense debate, with some celebrating the evolution of gender roles, while others lament the perceived crisis of masculinity. It's not about turning back the clock, but about understanding the past to navigate the future of masculinity. The journey begins with understanding the forces that have shaped modern masculinity. Modern male stereotypes: weak, feminine, and lost. The modern media landscape often portrays men in a less than flattering light. From bumbling sitcom dads to hypersensitive boyfriends in romantic comedies, the message seems clear. Traditional masculinity is out of style, if not outright undesirable. These portrayals, while often exaggerated for comedic effect, tap into a deeper anxiety about the changing roles of men in society. The stereotype of the weak modern man manifests in various ways. Physically, he may be portrayed as out of shape and lacking the ruggedness of his forefathers. Emotionally, he's depicted as overly sensitive, indecisive, and lacking the stoicism traditionally associated with masculinity. This emasculation, as some call it, is further fueled by the rise of social media, where curated images of perfection often overshadow reality. It's important to note that not all modern men fit these stereotypes. They contribute to a sense of confusion and anxiety among men, leaving many wondering where they fit into the evolving landscape of gender roles. The warrior's fade: how modern life eroded traditional roles. To understand the perceived crisis of masculinity, we must examine the historical context that shaped traditional male roles. For centuries, men were defined by their physical strength and ability to protect and provide. Warfare, hunting, and physically demanding labor were not just occupations. They were rites of passage that forged men into the protectors and providers society demanded. However, the rise of industrialization and the shift to a knowledge-based economy rendered many of these traditional roles obsolete. Machines replaced muscle, and mental agility became more valuable than brute strength. As a result, men found themselves increasingly removed from the very activities that once defined their masculinity. This shift was further exacerbated by the decline of traditional communities. The result is a sense of displacement among many men. Deprived of the traditional avenues for proving their masculinity, they are left searching for meaning and purpose in a world that often seems to have little need for their physical strength or protective instincts. From hunter to hunted masculinity in the crosshairs of change. The shift away from traditional male roles has been accompanied by a growing critique of masculinity itself. What was once revered as strength and stoicism is now often labeled as toxic masculinity. Men are increasingly encouraged to suppress their natural instincts, leading to confusion and resentment. This critique is not without merit. Undeniably, there are aspects of traditional masculinity that are harmful and need to be addressed, such as aggression, dominance, and the suppression of emotions. However, the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction, demonizing all forms of masculinity and leaving men feeling like they can't win. They are encouraged to be more emotional and vulnerable, yet they are also criticized for being too sensitive or not man enough. This double bind leaves many men feeling lost, confused, and unsure of how to navigate the complexities of modern manhood. Technology and the taming of man: a double-edged sword. The technological advancements of the 21st century, while beneficial, have also softened manhood. The internet, smartphones, and video games offer access to information and entertainment, but tether men to the digital world. Remote work and fewer blue-collar jobs mean men spend more time behind desks, reducing physical activity. This sedentary lifestyle leads to health problems like obesity. The internet creates a virtual world where physical strength is less relevant. While fostering social connections, it can disconnect men from the real world. The challenge is to balance technology with physical activity. The rise of female empowerment, a catalyst for change. The 20th and 21st centuries witnessed a seismic shift in gender dynamics, with women making remarkable strides in education, the workforce, and social standing. This hard-won progress, while long overdue and ultimately beneficial for society as a whole, has also contributed to the perceived crisis of masculinity. As women have gained more power and autonomy, traditional male roles have been challenged and redefined. The rise of feminism, while a force for good in many ways, has also led to a backlash among some men who feel threatened by the changing balance of power. They see women's progress as coming at their expense, leading to resentment and a desire to cling even more tightly to traditional notions of masculinity. However, it's important to remember that equality is not a zero-sum game. The challenge for men is to embrace the positive aspects of female empowerment while also maintaining a strong and secure sense of their own masculinity. Navigating new masculinities. The shifting sands of masculinity have profoundly impacted family structures. The traditional father as sole breadwinner and mother as primary caregiver is no longer the norm. This shift brings equality and flexibility, but also new challenges for families. The decline of the traditional nuclear family is significant. Rising divorce rates and non-traditional structures create a fluid environment for children. Fathers are now encouraged to be more involved emotionally and practically. Men must adapt to new expectations and develop a nurturing side. Traditionally, men have been the primary protectors of communities, serving in the military, law enforcement, and other roles that require physical strength and a willingness to confront danger. However, as traditional masculinity has come under scrutiny, there has been a decline in the number of men willing to take on these roles. This is not to say that women are incapable of serving in these professions, but simply that men have historically been overrepresented in these fields due to their greater physical strength and societal expectations. This decline in male participation has led to concerns about community safety, as there are fewer people willing to put themselves in harm's way to protect others. While it's always preferable to de-escalate situations peacefully, there are times when force is required to protect innocent lives. Men are uniquely suited to fulfill these roles, and their absence is felt most acutely in times of crisis. The positive aspects of evolving masculinities: empathy and equality. While the perceived crisis of masculinity raises valid concerns, it's essential to acknowledge the positive aspects of evolving gender roles. As traditional notions of masculinity are challenged, men are given the freedom to express themselves more fully and embrace a wider range of emotions and behaviors. One of the most significant benefits of this shift is the growing emphasis on empathy and emotional intelligence in men. Traditionally, men have been discouraged from expressing vulnerability or seeking emotional support, leading to isolation, depression, and other mental health issues. However, as society becomes more accepting of men expressing their emotions, men are finding it easier to connect with others on a deeper level and build more meaningful relationships. Furthermore, the evolving definition of masculinity has paved the way for greater equality between men and women. The challenge for men is to embrace these positive changes while also holding on to the core values of traditional masculinity that are still relevant and beneficial in the 21st century. The dangers of demonizing traditional masculinity. While it's crucial to acknowledge and address the harmful aspects of traditional masculinity, such as aggression and dominance, it's equally important to avoid demonizing all forms of traditional masculinity. Many of the qualities traditionally associated with manhood, such as strength, courage, stoicism, and a sense of responsibility, are not inherently negative and, in fact, can be incredibly valuable in navigating the challenges of life. When we demonize all forms of traditional masculinity, we risk creating a generation of men who are afraid to express their natural instincts and who lack the tools and confidence to navigate the world as strong, capable individuals. This can lead to passivity, apathy, and a sense of learned helplessness. The key is not to eradicate traditional masculinity, but to redefine it in a way that is both healthy and empowering for men. This means embracing the positive aspects of traditional masculinity, such as strength, courage, and responsibility, while also challenging and rejecting the harmful aspects, such as aggression, dominance, and the suppression of emotions. Reclaiming your inner warrior, a path to healthy masculinity. In a world where traditional notions of masculinity are constantly being challenged, it can be difficult for men to know how to navigate the complexities of manhood. However, by embracing both the positive aspects of traditional masculinity and the evolving roles of men in the 21st century, men can reclaim their inner warrior and live fulfilling and meaningful lives. This journey begins with self-awareness. Take some time to reflect on your own values, beliefs, and aspirations. What does it mean to you to be a man? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your passions and purpose in life? Once you have a better understanding of yourself, you can begin to define your own unique version of masculinity. Engage in regular physical activity, challenge yourself intellectually, and learn to regulate your emotions in a healthy way. Finally, use your strength and resilience to make a positive impact on the world. Embracing the future of masculinity. The perceived crisis of masculinity is a complex issue with no easy answers. However, by understanding the historical context, examining the challenges and opportunities presented by evolving gender roles, and embracing both the positive aspects of traditional masculinity and the need for growth and adaptation, men can navigate this new landscape with confidence and purpose. The future of masculinity is not about clinging to outdated stereotypes or rejecting all forms of traditional manhood. It's about finding a balance between strength and sensitivity, assertiveness and empathy, and independence and interdependence. It's about being the best man you can be, for yourself, your loved ones, and the world around you. Thank you for watching. Please share your comments and click subscribe for more videos on becoming a true warrior.